Day on BBC Radio Norfolk.
Very good morning to you. Welcome to the programme. Nick Conrad at breakfast on BBC Radio Norfolk. And we are launching Norfolk Day 2019 today. After the huge success of the first Norfolk Day last year, we're doing it all over again on Saturday, the 27th of July. The aim remains the same, to celebrate all that's great about this fantastic county. We need as many of you as possible to get behind it and start organising events to celebrate businesses, community groups, towns and villages. Earlier in the programme, I spoke to the editor of the EDP, David Powles, and BBC Radio Norfolk's editor, Peter Cook. Both organisations came up with the idea.
This is your day. Go and do something special with it. And actually, it's a Saturday this time. More people can get involved. It's the first weekend of the school summer holidays as well. What better excuse than get out there with the kids, go and do something. And it could be as simple as inviting mates over, having a big lunch in the garden or something like that, or organising a coffee morning. Or it could be a big event that you want to do.
And David Powles even did a Norfolk Day rap, which we're going to play for you again later in the programme. Let's talk more about this with Chris Sargison, the Chief Executive of the Norfolk Chamber of Commerce, and Margaret Collingwood and Vicky Reynolds, who are from the Norfolk Federation of the Women's Institute. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Chris, let's start with you.
Oh,
How do you think that Norfolk Day went last year?
Oh, I had a great day, Norfolk Day. It was actually a Norfolk Day and night, if you can remember. We were on a boat bobbing up and down at 5 o'clock in the morning, weren't we? And then I was still bobbing up and down, but in a pub at about 9 o'clock that night at a barbecue. So it was quite a long day. But it was fantastic for so many reasons. And I think one of the things, I was reflecting on it this morning, actually, on the way in. There's been a real legacy, actually, from the business community for Norfolk Day, because we took this fantastic opportunity to use it to really try and articulate what was happening in Norfolk now. So for us in the business community, every day is Norfolk Day. This is where we live and work and trade. And we were very conscious and very aware that so many things are happening in the Norfolk region that people aren't necessarily aware of. We used Norfolk Day to really lift that with a 15-second video work that we did. And we talked about changing the narrative to the now, about Norfolk now. And all through this year, I keep hearing that coming back in conferences, and we had the politicians last week at the big debate, and they were talking about Norfolk Now. The other business networks, of course, were also saying the same message. They're all talking about it. So, you know, we planted something a year ago, and it's growing into something which is, I think, fundamental to help this region be identified very much around what is happening in Norfolk Day. So this year, it's, I think, an opportunity to build upon that and then to talk about what kind of opportunity that represents for the future as well.
So I'm delighted to hear this, because there was a worry that this could just be a bit of a kind of, I don't know, a platform that people use for one day to shout about what they want to shout about, and then it just dissipates, it goes away. It doesn't build anything that's tangible. It appears that isn't what has happened in the business community, and actually it's not what's happened in other communities as well, which is fantastic.
Cool. Yeah.
That's what we want.
It is, yeah. And it is a celebration, but I think if things happen in isolation, you don't get the full impact and the full benefit from it. And being given the BBC and the EDP to give as an opportunity to have this fantastic platform to broadcast and talk about something as positive as the region is amazing. But that creates a kind of collateral of information that you want to then do something with. You want to be able to then carry that over into the rest of the year and beyond. So
yeah. No, I'm delighted. Margaret, Vicky in the studio with us. Margaret, first of all, why did the WI groups in Norfolk really get behind this? And boy, oh boy, you got behind this.
We did, didn't we? I think about 45 of our WIs got involved because it's such a wonderful way to get the WI out to meet potential members, to meet their communities. One of the things the WI does best is get involved in local community. And that gave all our WIs a chance to get out there. The ones that we highlighted were doing sort of different things like painting stones or giving away lavender posies and things like that. But most WIs got together for a coffee morning or to raise funds for a local charity. And that was lovely to give them that opportunity.
Vicky, do you think looking at this year you can go bigger and better?
Of course, because it's our centenary year, so we want to be big and we want to celebrate at every possible moment. And we're going to have our office open at All Saints Green, so we're inviting everybody to come and have a piece of cake, a birthday cake, and celebrate with us.
Fantastic. And the great thing about the WI is it takes us right the way across the county because you're so well represented.
Yes, we've got 150 WIs, from the Thetford right through to Terrington, St Clements, and and all points east and west.
Yeah, Chris, this is a great thing about Norfolk Day, because you've got the charitable sector, you've got groups like the WI coming together with the business community, you've got the media. It does feel that we're all going in one direction with this message.
Yeah, and isn't that very Norfolk?
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why it's worth celebrating. I don't think I've ever encountered in the last year or two in my role any resistance or pushback on any group or organisation that wants to talk positively about the region that it's in. It's such a fantastic thing, and Norfolk's got the particular challenges of being quite scattered. We've got a very big geographical patch, and we've got things happening in different locations. But when you put the call out for them to come together, we come together.
How do we make sure this message goes beyond our borders, though? Because actually the thing that I find most exciting is this sense of unity, this sense of progress, this sense of ambition for our county is heard across the country.
Yeah, and I think that's why the changes that when we build upon the first event and think what could we do better and differently, it is very much to try and take that message out, that collateral that we created, and be able to broadcast it as a place of opportunity and a place to invest, not just outside of the region, but within the region itself. So students and schools can see all the things that are on their doorstep and see that it is a place to educate and remain in. But if we have this celebration and we have this ability to indicate a message very clearly of a great place to live, work and enjoy life, then we need to find a way of sort of pushing it beyond the borders.
Absolutely. Margaret, in terms of the day overall last